What if I told you that 2025 is not just another year? What if I told you this is the year your great-great-grandchildren will study in their history classes? What if I told you they will ask one question about you? What did my ancestor do when they finally knew the truth? Did they fight or did they fold? Did they build or did they consume? Did they remember or did they forget? January 1st, 2025. 6 in the morning. Atlanta, Georgia. A black grandmother sits at her kitchen table. In front of her, old family photos spread across the wood. Her Bible sits open to Deuteronomy. A worn notebook rests beside a cup of coffee that's getting cold. She's writing her New Year's resolution, but this isn't about losing weight. This isn't about saving money for a vacation. This is different. The smell of coffee fills the kitchen. Morning light filters through lace curtains her own grandmother made 50 years ago. Her hands weathered from decades of work grip a pen. In that notebook, she writes words that will change her family's trajectory forever. I will not let them erase us again. I will build wealth my grandchildren can inherit. I will teach them our real history. I will be the ancestor they thank. In that moment, sitting at that table, she became something powerful. She became the breakthrough. She became the change agent. She became the ancestor her descendants would study with pride instead of pity. This is the story of what happens when you stop accepting the lies they taught you and start building the legacy they tried to steal from you. This is your story. This is your moment. This is your 2025. Everything you're about to hear will challenge what you learned in school. It will shake what you thought you knew about your family's history. It will reveal why your grandmother struggled the way she did. It will expose why your father couldn't get that loan. It will explain why you're starting from zero when white families are on their 10th generation of wealth. By the end of this video, you will understand why 2025 is not just another year, but your year. Not next year, not someday, right now. You will know the 4 pillars your ancestors used to survive genocide and how you will use them to build empire. You will see what your descendants will say about you in 2125 and how to make sure they say it with pride and gratitude instead of shame and regret. You will learn the exact steps to become the ancestor who breaks generational poverty forever, and you will never see New Year's resolutions the same way again. This is not a motivational speech. This is a reckoning. Your ancestors survived the Middle Passage so you could exist. They endured slavery so your bloodline could continue. They outlasted Reconstruction terror so you could breathe free air. They resisted Jim Crow so you could vote. They fought mass incarceration so you could stand here today. What will you do with that inheritance? What will you build with the freedom they died to give you? Your great-grandmother didn't have a choice. She survived because she had to. But you have something she died to give you. Freedom to choose. Will you choose survival, or will you choose empire? Let me tell you something they never taught you in school. Your ancestors were not poor. They were robbed, and I can prove it. Let me take you back to a woman who understood this truth better than anyone. Her name was Sarah Breedlove, but history would remember her as Madam C.J. Walker. Born December 23, 1867, on a Louisiana plantation. Think about that date, 1867, just 2 years after slavery ended. Her parents, Owen and Minerva Breedlove, had been enslaved their entire lives. Sarah was the first free child born into her family. She was orphaned at age 7. Yellow fever took both her parents. By age 14, she was married to escape abuse from her brother-in-law. By age 20, she was a widow with a 2-year-old daughter. She worked as a washerwoman in St. Louis, Missouri, making $1.50 a week. $1.50. She washed white people's clothes bent over a scrub board until her hands bled just to feed her daughter, Lelia. Most people would look at Sarah Breedlove in 1900 and see a poor black washerwoman with no future, no education, no husband, no prospects. just another struggling black woman in Jim Crow America. But Sarah saw something different. She saw opportunity. She was losing her hair from a scalp condition. The products available didn't work for black women's hair. So in 1905, at age 38, she created her own formula. She mixed sulfur and other ingredients in her kitchen. She tested it on herself. It worked. Her hair grew back. And then she did something revolutionary. She didn't just use it. She sold it. She started going door to door in Denver, Colorado, selling her hair care products to black women. She demonstrated the products. She taught women how to use them. She showed them the results. And black women bought them because finally someone understood their hair. Someone created products that actually worked. By 1910, just 5 years later, Madam C.J. Walker employed 3,000 black women as sales agents across America. 3,000. She created a network of beauty culturists. She trained them. She gave them a business model. She made them independent entrepreneurs. She didn't just build a business. She built an economic movement. By 1917, she was worth $1 million. That's over $20 million in today's money. She was the first black woman self-made millionaire in American history. The first. She didn't inherit wealth. She didn't marry into wealth. She built it from kitchen chemistry and door-to-door hustle. She didn't wait for white approval. She didn't ask permission. She saw black women's needs, and she built an empire from it. She bought property in Harlem. She built a mansion in Irvington on Hudson, New York. She employed her own people. She gave to civil rights organizations. She supported the NAACP anti-lynching campaign. She used her wealth as a weapon for justice. But here's what they don't teach you. Madam C.J. Walker was not unique. She was part of a pattern. Black people in America, immediately after slavery, immediately after being told they were property-built wealth at rates that shocked the nation. Between 1865 and 1920, black Americans went from 0% property ownership to owning 15 million acres of land. 15 million acres. From nothing to 15 million acres in 55 years. Black businesses multiplied. Black banks opened. Black communities thrived. And every single time black people built wealth, white supremacy destroyed it. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Before I show you the destruction, you need to understand what they built. You need to see the empire. Because if you don't know what was stolen, you can't demand it back. Fast forward to 2025. Black buying power is $1.6 trillion. 1.6 trillion. That's more than the entire GDP of Mexico. More than Australia. More than Spain. Black Americans, if we were our own country, would be the 15th largest economy on Earth. But black wealth, $200 billion. 200 billion out of 1.6 trillion in buying power. That means 98% of black income leaves the black community within 6 hours of earning it. 6 hours. You get paid Friday. By Friday night, that money is in white-owned businesses, white-owned banks, white-owned corporations. Compare that to white families. Average white family wealth, $188,000. Average black family wealth, $24,000. That's an 8-to-1 ratio, 8-to-1. But it gets worse. White families pass down average inheritance of $150,000 to their children. Black families, $35,000. And 72% of black families pass down zero inheritance. Zero. That means your children start from scratch, again, for the 5th generation in a row. This is not because black people don't work hard. This is not because your parents didn't sacrifice. This is stolen generational wealth. This is systematic economic warfare. This is policy. Let me show you exactly how it works. Your great-great-grandmother could not get a bank loan in 1920 because banks refused to lend to black people. So she rented. Your great-grandmother could not buy a house in 1950 because of redlining. Federal policy. The government drew red lines around black neighborhoods and refused to insure mortgages there. So she rented. Your grandmother could not get approved for a mortgage in 1975 because of discriminatory lending. So she rented. 3 generations of renting. 3 generations of building zero equity. 3 generations of paying landlords instead of building ownership. If your great-great-grandmother had bought a house in 1920 for $5,000, that house would be worth $400,000 today. That's $395,000 in stolen generational wealth. Just from one house. Just from one blocked opportunity. Multiply that across millions of families. Multiply that across land ownership, business ownership, stock ownership. The number becomes incomprehensible. Economists estimate America owes black Americans between $14 and $17 trillion in stolen wealth from slavery alone. 14 trillion. That's just slavery. That doesn't include Jim Crow theft. That doesn't include redlining. That doesn't include urban renewal. That doesn't include contract buying schemes. That doesn't include police seizure of property. That doesn't include mass incarceration. Your 2025 resolution must be this. Build something you can pass down, not just money. Business, property, investments. Assets that compound. Assets that grow. Assets your children inherit instead of debt. Become Madam C.J. Walker for your generation. Find the need. Fill the need. Build the business. Employ your people. Pass it down. That's Pillar 1, economic power. But building wealth means nothing if you can't protect it. And that brings us to a truth they definitely don't teach in school. They taught you about peaceful protest. They taught you about sit-ins and freedom rides. They taught you about Martin Luther King Jr. saying, "Turn the other cheek." And those tactics had their place. I'm not diminishing that. But they taught you half the story. They taught you the safe story. They taught you the story that makes white people comfortable. They never taught you about the black people who picked up guns and fought back. They never taught you about the warriors. They never taught you about the communities that said, if you come to kill us, you're going to die trying. Let me introduce you to a man named Robert F. Williams. Born in Monroe, North Carolina, February 26, 1925. He served in the Marine Corps, fought for America in World War II, came home to North Carolina expecting freedom, found Jim Crow instead. In 1955, he became president of the Monroe chapter of the NAACP. He was trying to integrate the public swimming pool. He was trying to register black people to vote. He was doing everything the legal way, the peaceful way, the way the NAACP said you're supposed to do it. And the Ku Klux Klan responded with terrorism. Every night, Klan motorcades drove through the black neighborhood. 60, 70, 80 cars, honking horns, firing guns into homes, throwing firebombs, terrorizing families. Children sleeping on the floor to avoid bullets. Mothers hiding babies in bathtubs. Robert F. Williams called the police. The police did nothing. The police were often in the Klan. He called the FBI. The FBI said it's a local matter. He called the NAACP national office. They said stay nonviolent. Be patient. Don't fight back. Robert F. Williams said no. He was a Marine. He knew how to fight. And he knew something the peaceful protesters didn't want to admit. Power respects power. Violence only stops when violence becomes costly. He organized the black veterans in Monroe, men who had fought Nazis in Europe, men who had fought Japan in the Pacific, men who knew how to handle weapons, men who were done begging for rights they had earned in blood. They armed themselves. Rifles, shotguns, handguns, legal weapons, Second Amendment rights. They created a defense perimeter around the black neighborhood. They set up watch posts. They coordinated communication. They trained. They prepared. And then the Klan came again. October 5th, 1957. The Klan motorcade rolled into the black neighborhood like they had done dozens of times before. 60 cars, maybe more, headlights off, armed men inside, ready to shoot, burn, terrorize. But this time was different. This time, they were met with organized gunfire. Robert F. Williams and the veterans opened fire. Disciplined, controlled, precise. Not a mob, a militia. The Klan had never faced armed resistance. They expected fear. They got warfare. Cars screeched into reverse. The motorcade fled. Men ducked below dashboards. Some abandoned their vehicles and ran into the woods. The Klan never came back to Monroe. Never. Not once. 60 years of terrorism in Monroe, North Carolina. One night of armed self-defense. Problem solved. Robert F. Williams wrote a book about it in 1962, Negroes with Guns. That book terrified white America. It inspired Black America. Malcolm X read it. The Black Panther Party read it. Huey Newton and Bobby Seale built their entire organization on the principle Robert F. Williams proved. Armed self-defense works. But the NAACP expelled him. Too radical, too violent, too dangerous. They wanted respectability. They wanted white approval. They wanted peaceful protest. Robert F. Williams said, "You can have peace or you can have freedom. But in 1957 America, you can't have both." Now let me connect this to 2025. After George Floyd was murdered on May 25th, 2020, black gun ownership increased 58%. 58% in 1 year. The largest single-year increase in American history. Why? Because your generation learned what Robert F. Williams knew in 1957. The law will not protect you. The police will not save you. You must protect yourself. This is not about violence. This is about respect. When they know you can defend yourself, they think twice. When they know attacking you has consequences, they recalculate. When they know you're not helpless, they move differently. Your ancestors understood this. After the Civil War, black veterans formed militia groups across the South. Armed, trained, ready. They protected black voters. They defended black property. They fought back against the Klan. And it worked until the federal government abandoned Reconstruction and allowed white supremacy to retake the South through superior numbers and coordination. But the principle remains true. Power respects power. Your 2025 resolution: protect what you build. Legally, strategically, constitutionally. Learn your Second Amendment rights. Learn gun safety. Learn self-defense. Learn security. Because building wealth means nothing if someone can just take it from you. And let me be clear, this is biblical. This is scriptural. This is God's word. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, "If anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever." Provide means protect. You cannot provide if you cannot protect. Nehemiah 4:17 and 18 says those who were building the wall and those who carried burdens were loaded in such a way that each labored on the work with one hand and held his weapon with the other. Build with one hand, weapon in the other. That's scripture. God didn't tell David to negotiate with Goliath. He told him, pick up a stone and fight. God didn't tell Moses to dialogue with Pharaoh. He gave him a staff and said, demand freedom. God didn't tell Gideon to peacefully protest the Midianites. He gave him a trumpet and 300 warriors and said, attack. The God of the Bible is not the God of passivity. He is the God of justice. And sometimes, justice requires force. That's pillar 2. Armed self-defense. But economic power and self-defense mean nothing if the truth dies. And that brings us to the woman who made sure the truth survived. Her name was Ida B. Wells. You should know this name, as well as you know Martin Luther King. You should teach this name to your children. But they erased her from the textbooks. Let me tell you why. Ida Bell Wells was born July 16, 1862, in Holly Springs, Mississippi. Born into slavery. Her first breath was as property. Her mother, Elizabeth Warrenton, was a cook. Her father, James Wells, was a carpenter. Both enslaved. 6 months after Ida was born, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Suddenly, she was free. Suddenly, her parents were free. And they didn't waste 1 second. James Wells became a master carpenter. Elizabeth Wells learned to read so she could read the Bible. They legalized their marriage. They sent Ida to school. They built a life. And then 1878 came, the yellow fever epidemic. Ida was 16 years old. In 1 week, yellow fever killed her father, killed her mother, killed her infant brother. She was 16 with 7 younger siblings, and family friends wanted to split the children up, send them to different relatives, break up the family. Ida said, no. She was 16, and she said, I will keep this family together. I will raise my brothers and sisters. She lied about her age, put her hair up to look older, got a teaching job making $25 a month, walked 6 miles each way every week to teach school, came home weekends to care for her siblings, 16 years old, orphaned, responsible for 7 children. And she did it. She kept the family together. This woman was a warrior from birth. Eventually, she moved to Memphis, Tennessee, still teaching. But in 1884, something happened that changed her trajectory forever. May 4th, 1884, Ida B. Wells, 22 years old, boards a train in Memphis. First-class ticket. Paid full price. She sits in the ladies' car. A white conductor tells her she has to move to the colored car. The smoking car. The car with broken windows and tobacco spit on the floor. Ida refuses. She has a first-class ticket. She's in the first-class car. She's not moving. The conductor grabs her arm. She bites his hand. Draws blood. He calls for backup. 2 more men come. They physically drag her out of the car. Her dress tears. White passengers applaud and cheer. Most people would accept it. That's just Jim Crow. That's just the South. That's just life. Ida B. Wells hired a lawyer. She sued the Chesapeake, Ohio and Southwestern Railroad. She took a railroad company to court in 1884, Tennessee. December 24th, 1884. Christmas Eve. The circuit court ruled in her favor, ordered the railroad to pay her $500. That's $17,000 today. The white newspaper headline read, "A darky damsel obtains a verdict. Not woman, not citizen. Darky damsel." But she won. The railroad appealed to the Tennessee Supreme Court. 1887, they overturned it. Said she was just trying to harass the railroad, not seeking justice, just causing trouble. She lost the appeal, but she learned something crucial. The law will not save you. The courts will not protect you. If you want justice, you must document the injustice so thoroughly that denial becomes impossible. She started writing articles for black newspapers, using the pen name Iola. Sharp writing, angry writing, truthful writing. She didn't soften her words for white comfort. She told the truth even when dangerous. By 1891, she became co-owner and editor of the Memphis Free Speech and Headlight newspaper. A black woman owning a newspaper in 1891 Memphis, writing about injustice, calling out white supremacy by name. And then, March 9th, 1892 happened. Her friend Thomas Moss owned a grocery store with 2 other black men. The People's Grocery. Successful business. Better than the white-owned store across the street. Too successful. White men came to destroy it. Thomas Moss and his partners defended their property. 3 white men were wounded. So a white mob broke into the jail at 2:30 in the morning, dragged Thomas Moss, Calvin McDowell, and Will Stewart out, took them to a railroad yard, and shot them to death. Thomas Moss's last words were, "Tell my people to go west. There is no justice for them here. No trial. No evidence. No justice. Just murder." Ida B. Wells investigated. She didn't just write about it. She investigated. She went to the scene. She interviewed witnesses. She examined the evidence. And she discovered something that would change her life and American history. Lynching had nothing to do with crime. It had everything to do with economics. She researched every lynching she could find from 1882 to 1892. 728 documented cases in 10 years. She analyzed every one. Her findings were explosive. Only 33% of lynching victims were even accused of rape or assault. 33%. That means 67%, 2/3, were lynched for other reasons. What reasons? 28% for economic success. Owning land, owning businesses, making too much money. 15% for not knowing their place, talking back, looking a white person in the eye, being too educated. 10% for voting or political activity. 15% for no clear reason at all. Just because. Lynching was not justice. It was terrorism. It was economic warfare. It was genocide. And here's the part that got her exiled. Many rape accusations were lies. Consensual relationships between white women and black men that got discovered. The women cried rape to protect themselves. The men died. Ida published this. May 21, 1892. She wrote, "Nobody in this section of the country believes the old threadbare lie that Negro men rape white women." In 1892, Memphis, that was a death sentence. White newspapers exploded. The Memphis Daily Commercial wrote the black wench who wrote that should be tied to a stake and burned. Not woman. Wench. An object to be destroyed. May the 27th, 1892. While Ida was in Philadelphia, a white mob of 75 men attacked the Free Speech Office, smashed the printing press, burned her files, destroyed everything, left a message. If she returns to Memphis, she will be hanged. She never went back. She was 30 years old, exiled from her home, her newspaper destroyed, her life's work in ashes. She had 2 choices: be silent and live, or keep fighting and risk everything. She bought a Winchester rifle. She moved to New York, then Chicago, and she kept investigating. She kept writing. She kept documenting. She wrote a Winchester rifle should have a place of honor in every black home, and it should be used for protection, which the law refuses to give. She documented over 5,000 lynchings across America from 1865 to the 1930s. 5,000 names. 5,000 murders. 5,000 black people killed by white mobs while police watched and newspapers celebrated. She preserved all of it. Names, dates, locations, photographs, testimony. Everything. Because she knew if she didn't document it, history would erase them. And she was right. For 70 years, American textbooks didn't mention lynching. 70 years. 3 generations learned sanitized history. They learned about peaceful progress and gradual improvement. They didn't learn about 5,000 murders. Ida B. Wells made sure the evidence survived. She wrote pamphlets. Southern Horrors in 1892, A Red Record in 1895, Mob Rule in New Orleans in 1900. She took her research to Europe, lectured in England, showed photographs of lynchings to British audiences, used international pressure to shame America. She testified before Congress, begged them to pass federal anti-lynching legislation. They refused. Every time. But she documented everything. And because she documented it, we know. Because she preserved it. You're hearing about it right now. Because she refused to let them erase the truth. The truth survived. That's pillar 3. Truth-telling, your 2025 resolution. Document your family history. Record your grandmother's stories before she passes. Write down what your grandfather survived. Take photos. Make videos. Create digital archives. Start a YouTube channel about your ancestry. Write your family history. Teach your children the truth schools won't teach. Be the historian of your lineage. Because if you don't preserve it, who will? If you don't document it, they will erase it. Just like they tried to erase Ida B. Wells. Just like they tried to erase 5,000 lynchings. Just like they tried to erase your ancestors. But here's the most important pillar. The one that ties everything together. The one your ancestors understood better than any generation since. Generational thinking. Think about your great-great-great-grandmother. She was enslaved. She couldn't read, couldn't own property, couldn't marry legally, couldn't keep her own children. White people could sell her babies whenever they wanted. She had nothing. No rights, no protection, no future. But she survived. Why? Because she was thinking generationally. She knew she might never see freedom, but maybe her children would. Maybe her grandchildren. Maybe someone down the line would breathe free air, and she had to survive so that person could exist. She passed down everything she could. Skills, how to survive, how to cook, how to heal, how to read the weather, how to avoid danger, how to resist without getting killed. Songs, coded messages hidden in spirituals. Swing Low Sweet Chariot wasn't just about heaven, it was about the Underground Railroad. Follow the Drinking Gourd meant follow the North Star to freedom. Stories, names of family members sold away. Descriptions of African homeland she barely remembered but refused to forget. Strength, the will to survive, the determination to resist, the faith that God sees and God remembers and God will deliver. Culture, that's what she passed down, not wealth. They stole that, not land. They stole that too. But culture, identity, knowledge, faith. And culture is wealth money cannot buy. Your great-great-great-grandmother planted a tree she would never sit under. She planted you. She died in slavery so you could be born in freedom. She endured the unendurable so your bloodline could continue. That's generational thinking. Now, fast forward to 1920. Black Americans owned 15 million acres of farmland. 15 million. That's almost the size of West Virginia. Black farmers were feeding communities, building wealth, passing land down to their children. By 2000, Black Americans owned less than 3 million acres. Less than 3 million. We lost 12 million acres in 80 years. 12 million acres of generational wealth. Stolen, foreclosed, swindled, seized. How did this happen? The USDA discriminated against black farmers, denied loans, denied crop insurance, denied disaster relief. When white farmers got bailouts, black farmers got foreclosures. When white farmers got extensions, black farmers got seizures. Systematic, intentional, policy. In 1999, black farmers sued the USDA. Pigford vs. Glickman. They proved discrimination. The court agreed. The government settled for $1.25 billion for over 13,000 farmers. Sounds like justice, right? Wrong. The average payout was $50,000. $50,000 for land worth millions. For generational wealth lost. For decades of discrimination. For stolen inheritance. $50,000. And by the time they got paid, most had already lost their land. You can't buy back what's already gone. You can't restore what's already destroyed. But here's what they couldn't steal. The knowledge, the farming skills, the generational wisdom. Some of those families are buying land again right now in 2025, starting fresh, teaching their children, thinking generationally again. There's an African proverb: we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. Read that again. We borrow it from our children. You're not living for yourself. You're living for 7 generations ahead. Every decision you make, every dollar you spend, every choice you take, you're borrowing from your great-grandchildren. What will you give back to them? Your ancestors understood this. That's why the enslaved grandmother learned to read in secret, even though getting caught meant death. She wasn't learning for herself. She was learning for her children. That's why the sharecropper saved pennies in a jar buried under the floor. He wasn't saving for himself. He was saving for his grandchildren. That's why the domestic worker bought a small plot of land nobody wanted. She wasn't buying for herself. She was buying for her great-grandchildren. They thought generationally. They planted trees. They laid foundations. They built for people they would never meet. What are you planting? What are you building? What foundation are you laying? In 2025, we're facing something called the Great Wealth Transfer. $84 trillion passing from baby boomers to younger generations over the next 20 years. $84 trillion, the largest intergenerational wealth transfer in human history. But here's the crisis. Only 8% of Black families will inherit any of it. 8%. That means 92% of Black families start from zero. Again, while white families compound wealth for 10 generations, you start over every generation. Your white coworker inherited his grandfather's stock portfolio. You inherited your grandfather's hospital debt. Your white neighbor inherited her grandmother's house. You inherited your grandmother's trauma. Your white classmate inherited his great-grandfather's business. You inherited your great-grandfather's stolen land that you can't prove you owned because they burned the records. This is not ancient history. This is now. This is 2025. This is your life. But you can break the cycle. Right now. This year. This resolution. Think 100 years ahead. It's 2125. Your great-great-grandchildren are learning about their family history. What will they say about you? Will they say you consumed or you built? Will they say you folded or you fought? Will they say you forgot or you remembered? Every decision you make this year, ask yourself that question. What would my descendants say about this choice? Should I buy this car or invest in property? What would my descendants want me to do? Should I spend this money on clothes or start a business? What would my descendants need me to do? Should I stay silent about injustice or speak truth? What would my descendants respect me for doing? That's Pillar 4, generational thinking. That's your 2025 resolution. Now let me prove to you this is not theory, this is proven. Let me show you 3 examples of people who used these 4 pillars and what happened. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. The Greenwood District, 35 square blocks, 10,000 Black residents, 600 Black-owned businesses. Black Wall Street, the wealthiest Black community in America. Let me give you names. O.W. Gurley owned a hotel worth $500,000. J.B. Stratford owned a 65-room hotel, largest Black-owned hotel in America. Dr. A.C. Jackson, wealthiest Black surgeon in the nation. White doctors called him the most able Negro surgeon in America. John and Lula Williams owned the Dreamland Theater and the Williams Confectionery. B.C. Franklin, lawyer, father of John Hope Franklin, the famous historian. These were not lucky people. These were not exceptional people. These were formerly enslaved people and their children who used the 4 pillars. Economic power. They built businesses. They employed each other. They spent money in their own community. A dollar circulated in Greenwood 36 times before leaving the community. 36 times. That's wealth multiplication. Armed self-defense. Many Greenwood residents were World War I veterans. They owned guns legally. They knew how to use them. When white mobs threatened, they defended their neighborhood. Truth-telling. The Tulsa Star newspaper documented their success, published their achievements, told their stories, preserved their history. Generational thinking. They were building for their children. J.B. Stratford's hotel was designed to last 100 years. O.W. Gurley was buying land for his grandchildren. They were thinking dynasties. May 31st, 1921, a white mob attacked Greenwood, the Tulsa Race Massacre. 300 black people murdered. 35 blocks burned. 1,900 homes destroyed. Every business burned. Every church burned. Every school burned. $200 million in property destroyed in today's money. But here's what the history books won't tell you. Greenwood residents fought back. Those World War I veterans took up positions on rooftops. They returned fire. They defended their neighborhood. They killed some of the attackers. This was not a massacre of helpless victims. This was a battle. The white mob couldn't defeat them with small arms. So they called in reinforcements. The Tulsa Police Department deputized 500 white men and gave them weapons. The National Guard arrived and disarmed black residents, but not white rioters. And then, and this is documented, white men used airplanes to drop firebombs on Greenwood. Airplanes. This was the first aerial bombing of an American city. Not by foreign enemies. By white Americans bombing black Americans. They arrested 6,000 black people and held them in internment camps. Meanwhile, the white mob looted and burned everything. When black residents were finally released and returned to Greenwood, nothing remained. Ashes, rubble, mass graves. Insurance companies refused to pay claims. Black families filed $1.8 million in insurance claims. That's $32 million today. Every single claim denied. The insurance company said it was a riot, not a massacre, and their policies didn't cover riots. The city changed fire codes immediately after, required all new construction to be brick, then refused to give loans to black residents for brick construction, made it impossible to rebuild. They stole everything, and then they made sure it could never be rebuilt. And then they erased it from history. The Tulsa Race Massacre was removed from Oklahoma history textbooks for 75 years. 75 years. 3 generations of Oklahoma students never learned it happened. It happened in their state, in their largest city. And they never knew. But here's what they couldn't destroy: the knowledge, the mindset, the blueprint. Those families knew how to build wealth. Some lost everything and left Tulsa, but they rebuilt elsewhere. They taught their children. They passed down the knowledge. And right now, in 2025, some of their descendants are rebuilding Greenwood, buying property, starting businesses, thinking generationally again. Because you can burn down buildings, but you cannot burn down culture. You can steal wealth, but you cannot steal knowledge. That's the lesson. They destroyed the empire, but they couldn't destroy the empire builders. Let me show you another example. The Freedmen's Savings Bank. 1865, right after the Civil War ended, freed black people. People who were property 1 year ago opened a bank. The Freedmen's Savings and Trust Company. Congress chartered it. The federal government promoted it. They told freed people, this is where you save your money. This is safe. This is protected. Trust us. And black people did. 70,000 depositors. 70,000 formerly enslaved people saving money, building wealth, thinking generationally. $57 million in deposits. That's over $1 billion today. Think about what that means. People who owned nothing, people who were nothing in the eyes of the law, saving $1 billion in 9 years. 9 years from slavery to $1 billion in savings. That's extraordinary. That's generational thinking. That's planting trees, branches in 37 cities. Washington, New York, Nashville, New Orleans. Everywhere black people were building new lives, the Freedmen's Bank was there. And then 1874 happened. White managers embezzled almost all the money, almost all of it. The bank collapsed. Black depositors lost everything. The federal government bailed out white banks during the Panic of 1873, gave them money, gave them support, gave them protection. But the Freedmen's Bank, nothing. Let it collapse. Let black depositors lose everything. Some depositors got pennies on the dollar decades later. Most got nothing. 70,000 families. $1 billion. Stolen. But here's what that taught Black America. Do not trust white institutions with your wealth. Build your own. Control your own capital. Own your own banks. And that's exactly what happened. By 1910, Black Americans had opened 64 Black-owned banks across the country. 64. They learned. They adapted. They built again. Most of those banks were destroyed during the Great Depression, but some survived. Citizens Trust Bank in Atlanta, founded 1921, still operating today. One United Bank, founded 1968, still operating. Carver Federal Savings Bank in New York, founded 1948, still operating. In 2025, there are 18 Black-owned banks in America. 18. That's not enough. That should be 1,800. But it's a start. It's generational thinking. It's building infrastructure that lasts. Your 2025 resolution. Bank Black. Put your money in Black-owned banks. Support Black credit unions. Build Black economic infrastructure. Because when you control the capital, you control the future. One more example. This one is happening right now. The Ancestry movement. Thousands of Black Americans using DNA testing to trace their roots back to Africa, finding out exactly where their ancestors were stolen from. Not just Africa, specific countries, specific ethnic groups, specific villages, organizations like African Ancestry, 23andMe Ancestry, DNA. They're connecting descendants to ancestors. They're rewriting family trees that slavery tried to erase. The Genetic Legacy Project identified 41,799 living genetic relatives of enslaved people buried in Maryland between 1774 and 1850. 41,000 living descendants connected to ancestors buried 250 years ago. Families reunited across 2.5 centuries. People are finding out they're Yoruba from Nigeria, Akan from Ghana, Igbo from Nigeria, Mende from Sierra Leone. They're learning the languages. They're visiting the villages. They're reconnecting to cultures stolen 400 years ago. Ghana started the Year of Return in 2019, marking 400 years since the first enslaved Africans arrived in Virginia. 750,000 diaspora Africans visited Ghana that year. Many stayed. Many bought land. Many applied for citizenship. In 2025, thousands of Black Americans hold dual citizenship in African countries. They own land in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Senegal. They're building homes. They're starting businesses. They're retiring there. Reconnecting. This is truth-telling. This is generational thinking. This is saying they tried to erase where we came from, and we're writing it back into history. They tried to cut us off from our roots, and we're replanting ourselves. Your 2025 resolution. Trace your ancestry. Take a DNA test. Research your family tree. Find out who you descend from. Learn your ethnic group. Learn your language. Visit your ancestral homeland if you can. Because when you know who you are, They cannot tell you who you're supposed to be. When you know where you came from, they cannot control where you're going. When you know your ancestors were kings and queens, you stop accepting crumbs. Now you might be asking if these 4 pillars work, if Black people keep building wealth. Why do we keep starting from zero? Why does the wealth gap still exist? Why are we still struggling? Because they keep destroying what we build. Every single time. And they have a system for it. Let me show you exactly how it works. Educational suppression. They control what you learn so you don't know what was stolen. In 2025, 18 states have passed laws restricting how teachers can discuss race slavery and systemic racism. 18 states. They call these laws anti-critical race theory laws. But critical race theory is a graduate-level legal framework taught in law schools. It's not in K through 12 curriculum. It never was. What they're really banning is teaching accurate history. They're banning teachers from saying, America was founded on slavery. They're banning lessons about Tulsa. They're banning discussions of redlining. They're banning truth. Florida's Stop Woke Act, Texas HB 3979, Tennessee HB 580. These laws say teachers cannot teach anything that makes students feel discomfort or guilt about their race. Translation: don't teach white students about what their ancestors did. Don't make them uncomfortable. Protect them from truth. Oklahoma removed the Tulsa race massacre from required curriculum for 75 years. It happened in 1921. It wasn't taught until 1996. 75 years of silence. 3 generations grew up not knowing. Texas textbooks in 2015 called enslaved people workers and immigration. Not enslaved people. Workers. Not kidnapping. Immigration. Like they chose to come here. Like they applied for visas. The AP African American Studies course was created in 2022. Comprehensive curriculum about Black history and culture. Florida banned it in 2023. Governor Ron DeSantis said it violates state law because it includes topics about Black queer studies and reparations. Banned an entire course because of 2 topics. Why does this matter? Because if your children don't learn about Black Wall Street, they won't know wealth building is possible. If they don't learn about Robert F. Williams, they'll think Black people were only victims. If they don't learn about Ida B. Wells, they won't know resistance is a tradition. If they don't learn the truth, they'll repeat the same cycles of poverty and powerlessness. The solution: homeschool. The truth: I don't mean take your kids out of school, though some families are doing that. I mean supplement what schools teach. Family history nights, Saturday schools, summer programs, YouTube videos like this one. Teach your children what schools won't. You are the teacher now. Your living room is the classroom. Your dinner table is the lecture hall. Don't outsource your children's identity to a system designed to make them forget. Economic suppression. They make it almost impossible to build wealth. Black entrepreneurs are denied business loans at 3 times the rate of white entrepreneurs. 3 times. Even with the same credit scores. Same business plans. Same collateral. 3 times more denials. Black families pay $13,000 more for mortgages over the life of the loan due to higher interest rates. $13,000 for the same house. Same neighborhood. Same loan amount. Just higher rates because you're Black. Black-owned businesses receive 1% of venture capital funding. 1%. Black people are 13% of the population, but get 1% of investment capital. That's not market forces, that's discrimination. Redlining officially ended in 1968. The Fair Housing Act made it illegal. But banks still do it. They just call it something else now. Risk-based pricing. Algorithmic lending, credit scoring models, different words, same discrimination. Contract buying schemes in Chicago during the 1950s through 1970s stole $4 billion from Black families. Here's how it worked. Banks wouldn't give black families mortgages, so predatory contract sellers would buy a house, mark up the price 2 to 3 times, and sell it to black families on contract. Miss one payment, you lose the house and every payment you made. You never build equity. The contract seller keeps everything. $4 billion stolen from one city in 2 decades. No reparations, no restitution, no justice. When black neighborhoods gentrify, what happens to black residents? They get pushed out. Property taxes rise because home values rise. Rents rise because the neighborhood is desirable now. Forced displacement. They call it urban renewal. We call it Negro removal. Your grandmother couldn't get a loan to buy a house in 1950. Redlining. So she rented? Your mother couldn't get approved for a mortgage in 1980. Discrimination. So she rented. Now you're paying $1,500 a month in rent that could be a mortgage payment building equity. 3 generations of stolen equity. If your great-grandmother had bought a house in 1950 for $10,000, it would be worth $400,000 today. That's $390,000 in stolen generational wealth from one blocked opportunity. Multiply that across millions of families. The number is incomprehensible. The solution: buy black. Bank black. Invest in black-owned businesses, pool resources, create investment clubs, rotating credit associations, where 10 families each contribute $100 a month, and one family gets $1,000 to invest. If they won't loan to you, loan to each other. Media manipulation. They control the narrative so you internalize oppression. Every time black people protest injustice, media calls it riots. When white people stormed the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021, broke windows, attacked police, tried to overturn an election, media called it unrest, civil disorder, a protest that got out of hand. But when black people in Ferguson protested after Michael Brown was killed, media called it riots, thugs, animals, chaos. Different words for the same actions. Why? Because they need you to see black resistance as criminal and white violence as understandable. Black victims of police violence get criminalized immediately. George Floyd had a criminal record. Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend was a drug dealer. Philando Castile had a broken taillight. They blame the victim before they blame the killer. But white mass shooters, they get sympathy, mental illness, troubled youth, difficult childhood, lone wolf, never terrorism, never radicalization, never systemic. George Floyd was murdered on camera on May 25, 2020. For the first 48 hours, media showed his mugshot more than the video of Derek Chauvin kneeling on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. They wanted you to see him as a criminal first and a victim second. Breonna Taylor was shot to death in her own bed by police on March 13, 2020. For weeks, media focused on her ex-boyfriend being investigated for drugs. Not the fact that police had the wrong house. Not the fact that she was asleep. Not the fact that her boyfriend legally defended his home from unknown intruders. They blamed her for her boyfriend's past. The 1619 Project, created by Nicole Hannah Jones, won a Pulitzer Prize. Reframes American history by placing slavery and the contributions of black Americans at the center instead of the margins. Accurate history, documented history, peer-reviewed history. Republican senators tried to ban it from schools, called it divisive, called it anti-American, called it propaganda. Why? Because it tells the truth, and truth is threatening to a system built on lies. The solution: create your own media. You have tools your ancestors never dreamed of. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, podcasts, blogs. Tell your own story. Don't wait for white media to tell it for you. Be the narrator of your own history. Legal suppression. They use law as a weapon. Mass incarceration is modern slavery. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery, except as punishment for crime. Except. That exception is a loophole big enough to drive the entire prison industrial complex through. Black people are 13% of the population, but 38% of the prison population. 38%. That's not because black people commit more crimes. Multiple studies prove black and white people use drugs at the same rates, but black people are arrested and incarcerated at 6 times the rate. 1 in 3 black men will be incarcerated in their lifetime. 1 in 3. That's not crime. That's policy. The war on drugs was designed to target black communities. Don't take my word for it. John Ehrlichman Nixon's domestic policy advisor admitted it in 1994. He said, "We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be black, but by getting the public to associate black people with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt black communities, arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did." He admitted it. On record. They designed the war on drugs to destroy black communities. Cocaine versus crack cocaine sentencing. Same drug, different form. Cocaine is powder, used mostly by white people. Crack is rock, used mostly by black people. The sentencing disparity was 100 to 1 until 2010. Possession of 5 grams of crack got you 5 years. You needed 500 grams of powder cocaine to get the same sentence. 100 to 1. They changed it to 18 to 1 in 2010. Still discriminatory, still unjust, but slightly less obvious. Private prisons profit from black bodies. Core Civic and GEO Group are billion-dollar corporations built on prison labor. They lobby for harsher sentencing. They lobby against drug decriminalization. They need bodies. They need black bodies. Felony disenfranchisement. 6.1 million Americans cannot vote because of felony convictions. 1 in 13 black Americans cannot vote. 1 in 13. They take your freedom. Then they take your vote. Then they ensure you can never fully participate in democracy. If your father is in prison, he cannot build wealth, cannot be present for his children, cannot pass down knowledge. If your brother has a felony, he cannot get a job that pays a living wage, cannot get housing, cannot get financial aid for school. If your son is incarcerated, generational poverty continues for another generation. This is designed. This is intentional. This is the system working exactly as intended. The solution: know your rights. 4th Amendment protects against unreasonable search and seizure. 5th Amendment gives you the right to remain silent. Use it. Record police interactions. Film everything. Support bail funds that get people out of cages while awaiting trial. Vote for prosecutors and judges who won't criminalize poverty. Teach your children their constitutional rights. What to say when stopped by police. Hands visible. No sudden movements. I do not consent to searches. I want a lawyer. Survival skills for a system designed to cage them. Now let me connect all of this to why 2025 is your year. The great wealth transfer is happening right now. $84 trillion moving from baby boomers to younger generations over the next 20 years. The largest intergenerational wealth transfer in human history. $84 trillion. But only 8% of black families will inherit any of it. 8%. That means 92% of black millennials and Gen Z start from zero. Again, for the 5th generation in a row. White families are on their 10th generation of wealth accumulation. 10 generations of compounding. Your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents Building wealth that compounds to today. Stock portfolios that have grown for a century. Real estate that has appreciated for decades. Business ownership passed down through generations. Trust funds, inheritance, generational wealth. You are on generation 1. Your parents couldn't leave you wealth because their parents couldn't leave them wealth because redlining blocked home ownership, because Jim Crow blocked business ownership, because slavery stole everything. Every generation starts over. While they compound, you restart. But you can break that cycle right now. This year, 2025, your 2025 resolution. Create the inheritance you never received. Buy property even if it's small, even if it's not in the best neighborhood. Ownership beats renting every time. Start a business even if it's part-time, even if it's just online. Income streams beat single paychecks. Invest in stocks even if it's just $50 a month. Compounding beats spending. Open a 529 college savings account for your children, even if you can only put in $20 a week. Education funding beats student loan debt. Think one question with every financial decision. What can I build in 2025 that will compound for 100 years? Not what can I buy, what can I build? Not what can I consume, what can I create? Not what feels good now, what helps my great-grandchildren then? The reparations movement is gaining momentum, real momentum, not just talk. Action. Evanston, Illinois became the first city in America to pay reparations to Black residents in 2021. $25,000 per eligible household for housing. Funded by marijuana tax revenue. Actual money. Actual reparations. California created a reparations task force in 2020. They studied 2 years. Released findings in 2023. Recommended California pay Black descendants of enslaved people $223,000 per person. $223,000. Not pie in the sky. Calculated. Researched. Justified. They calculated stolen wealth from housing discrimination alone. From 1933 to 1977, redlining cost California Black families $160 billion in lost home equity. $160 billion from one state in 44 years. The task force recommended paying it back. California legislature hasn't passed it yet, but the momentum is building. The conversation is happening. The math is public. H.R. 40 is a bill in Congress to study reparations. Been introduced every session since 1989. Never got a vote, never got a hearing. Just died in committee every time. But in 2021, it finally got a hearing. In 2025, it has over 200 co-sponsors. 200 members of Congress publicly supporting reparations study. That's the most ever. It's not passed yet. But the window is opening. The narrative is shifting. Americans are starting to understand. This is not charity. This is debt. And debts must be paid. But some states are going the opposite direction. Florida passed a law saying schools cannot teach that anyone should feel guilt about historical racism. Texas banned teaching the 1619 Project. Multiple states banned even discussing reparations in public schools. They are scared, because if Americans learn the truth about stolen wealth, they will demand it back. If students calculate the numbers, they will demand payment. If the next generation understands the debt, they will demand reparations. Your 2025 resolution. Advocate for reparations. Call your representatives, city council, state legislature, Congress. Demand what is owed. Attend city council meetings. Speak during public comment. Organize. Pressure. Demand. This is not begging. This is collecting a debt. You don't beg someone to pay what they owe. You demand it. The cultural renaissance is happening. Right now. Black Americans reclaiming African identity that slavery tried to erase. Ghana's year of return in 2019 brought 750,000 diaspora Africans home, the largest reverse migration in history. People visiting ancestral homeland for the first time, walking through slave castles where their ancestors were held before the Middle Passage, weeping, healing, reconnecting. Many stayed. Many bought land. Many applied for citizenship under the right of abode law that gives diaspora Africans the right to live in Ghana permanently. Nigeria launched a similar program. Senegal, too. African nations welcoming diaspora home, offering land, offering citizenship, offering belonging. In 2025, hundreds of thousands of Black Americans hold dual citizenship in African countries. They own land in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Senegal, in Kenya. They are building homes, starting businesses, retiring there, reconnecting. DNA testing is exploding. African Ancestry has tested over 700,000 people. 23andMe has over 15 million. Ancestry DNA has over 20 million. Black Americans finding out they are Yoruba, Igbo, Akan, Mende, Fulani. Not just African. Specific ethnic groups with specific cultures and specific histories. When you know you are Yoruba from Oyo, Nigeria, everything changes. You are not descended from generic slaves. You are descended from the Oyo Empire that ruled West Africa for 400 years. You are descended from warriors and kings and scholars and merchants. You have specific lineage, specific culture, specific power. People are learning African languages: Yoruba, Igbo, Twi, Swahili, reconnecting to languages their ancestors spoke, teaching their children, passing it down. This is truth-telling. This is generational thinking. This is saying, America tried to erase where we came from, and we are writing it back into existence. They tried to cut us off from our roots, and we are replanting ourselves in ancestral soil. Your 2025 resolution: trace your roots. Take a DNA test. Research your family tree as far back as you can go. Find out your ethnic group. Learn about that culture. Learn the language if possible. Visit your ancestral homeland if you can afford it. If you cannot afford it, now start saving for it. Make it a 5-year goal, 10-year goal. But make it a goal. Teach your children they come from kings and queens, not slaves. People who were enslaved. There is a difference. Slave is an identity. Enslaved is a condition. Your ancestors were not slaves. They were free people who were enslaved. And their descendants are free again. Now you know the truth. You know what was stolen. You know how they stole it. You know why they erased it. You know the 4 pillars your ancestors used to survive: economic power, armed self-defense, truth-telling, generational thinking. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? You are not disadvantaged. You are sabotaged. Understand the difference. Disadvantaged means you lack something inherently. Sabotaged means someone stole something from you. And theft can be repaid. Disadvantage is permanent. Sabotage can be overcome. You are not starting from behind because you are inferior. You are starting from behind because they stole your inheritance and gave it to someone else. You are descendants of survivors. Let that sink in. Your great-great-great-grandmother survived the Middle Passage. 20% of enslaved Africans died on those ships. 20%. Your ancestor was in the 80% who lived. She survived months in the hull of a slave ship. Chained, starving, sick, watching people die next to her. And she lived. Your great-great-grandfather was sold away from his family at age 12. Sold. Like furniture, he survived, built a new life, started a new family. Your bloodline exists because he refused to break. Your great-grandmother raised 8 children while working in white people's homes for $3 a week. $3. She fed 8 children, clothed them, kept them alive. All 8 survived. All 8 had children. You exist because she would not let her family die. Your grandmother survived Jim Crow, segregation, terror, lynching. She could not drink from certain water fountains, could not sit in certain seats, could not eat in certain restaurants, could not vote in certain states, and she survived it all. She raised your parents in that hell, and your parents raised you. You carry the survival instincts of people who endured the worst genocide in human history. 400 years of terrorism, and survived. That strength is in your DNA. Literally. Epigenetics proves trauma passes through generations. But so does resilience. So does strength. So does the will to survive. You are not what they did to you. You are what you do with what they did to you. Why did God preserve you through 400 years of genocide? By accident? By luck? No. By design. For purpose. Exodus 3:1-8 says, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them. God does not just see suffering, He responds to it. He delivers from it. You are the response. You are the deliverance. You are the generation that breaks the chains permanently. God preserved your bloodline through the Middle Passage. Why? So you could build wealth they cannot steal. God kept your ancestors alive through Reconstruction terror. Why? So you could tell truth they cannot silence. God brought your family through Jim Crow. Why? So you could defend yourself in ways they could not. God gave you this moment. 2025. Why? So you can become the ancestor your descendants will thank instead of pity. This is not coincidence. This is divine appointment. You finding this video today. You hearing this message right now. You understanding this truth at this moment. God ordained this. What will you do with it? You are at a crossroads. Right now. Today. 2 paths in front of you. Path 1. Repeat the cycle. Keep renting. Keep consuming. Keep silent. Keep waiting for the system to save you. Keep believing if you just work hard enough, if you just stay quiet enough, if you just assimilate enough, they will let you in. They will not. The game is rigged. It has always been rigged. If you choose path 1, your children will inherit debt. Your grandchildren will start from 0, again, for the 6th generation. And in 2125, when your great-great-grandchildren study their family history, they will ask, why didn't they build? Why didn't they fight? Why didn't they remember? And they will have no answer. Just more poverty, more struggle, more starting over. Path 2. Break the cycle. Build wealth. Defend yourself. Tell truth. Think generationally. Buy property in 2025 even if it is small. Start a business even if it is part-time. Document your family history even if it is just voice recordings of your grandmother. Teach your children the truth even if schools will not. If you choose path 2, your children will inherit assets. Your grandchildren will inherit wealth. Your great-grandchildren will inherit empire. And in 2125, when your descendants study their family history, they will point to you. They will say that Ancestor changed everything. That Ancestor broke the cycle. That Ancestor is why we are free. What will your great-great-grandchildren say about you? Will they say you fought or you folded? Will they say you built or you consumed? Will they say you remembered or you forgot? Think generational. Every decision you make in 2025, ask yourself, what would my descendants say about this? Should I buy this car or invest in property? What would my descendants want? Should I stay silent or speak truth? What would my descendants need? Should I spend or save? What would my descendants inherit? You are not living for yourself. You are living for 7 generations ahead. You are borrowing 2025 from your great-great-grandchildren. What will you give back to them? Debt or wealth? Trauma or healing? Silence or truth? African proverb: we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. You are borrowing this year from children not yet born. What will you build with it? If this truth is hitting you different right now, I need you to do something. Comment below one word: Ancestor. Just that word. Ancestor. That is your commitment. That is you saying, I will be the ancestor my descendants thank. Hit that like button if you are tired of starting from zero every generation. That like tells the algorithm this message matters. This truth needs to spread. Share this video with one person: your cousin, your sister, your nephew, your mother, your church member, someone who needs to hear this. Do not let this truth die with you. Pass it forward. Your ancestors passed down survival. Now, you pass down empire. If you made it this far, you are not here by accident. This video found you in 2025 for a reason. Subscribe to this channel because we are exposing hundreds more stories they erased. The wealth builders they buried. The warriors they silenced. The truth tellers they exiled. Every week we are releasing another truth bomb. Do not miss it. But more importantly, what will you do? Information without action is just entertainment. Knowing the truth without living the truth changes nothing. Here is your 2025 resolution. Write it down. Say it out loud. Post it somewhere. You will see it every day. I will build wealth my children can inherit. I will defend what I build legally and strategically. I will tell the truth schools will not teach. I will think generationally 100 years ahead. I will be the ancestor my descendants thank. Say it again. I will be the ancestor my descendants thank. Not the ancestor they pity. Not the ancestor they forget. The ancestor they thank. The one who changed everything. The one who broke the cycle. The one who built the empire. Did you fight or did you fold? Did you build or did you consume? Did you remember or did you forget? The answer starts today. Right now. January 2025. You have everything you need. You have the truth. You have the 4 pillars. You have the knowledge. You have the examples. You have the blueprint. Now you need the will. Will you execute? Will you build? Will you fight? Will you remember? Your ancestors are watching. Not metaphorically, spiritually. The cloud of witnesses. Hebrews 12:1 says we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. Your ancestors who survived the Middle Passage, who endured slavery, who outlasted Jim Crow, they are watching. What will you show them? Will you show them their sacrifice was worth it? Will you show them you built the empire they dreamed of? Will you show them you finished what they started? Or will you show them it was all for nothing? That you had freedom and you wasted it. That you had opportunity and you consumed it. That you had truth and you forgot it. They are watching. Make them proud. Bow your heads with me. Father God, we come to you at the beginning of 2025 with hearts full of gratitude and fire. Gratitude for ancestors who survived the unsurvivable. Fire to build what they died dreaming of. We thank you for the Middle Passage survivors whose blood runs in our veins. We thank you for the enslaved who passed down faith when everything else was stolen. We thank you for the sharecroppers who saved pennies, for the domestics who bought land, for the entrepreneurs who built businesses, for the warriors who fought back, for the truth-tellers who documented everything. We thank you for Madam C.J. Walker, who proved black women can build empires. For Robert F. Williams, who proved armed self-defense works. For Ida B. Wells, who proved truth survives when you document it. For every ancestor who refused to break. Lord, we pray for vision. Help us see 100 years ahead like our ancestors did. Help us think generationally. Help us build for people we will never meet. Help us plant trees we will never sit under. We pray for courage. Courage to build wealth in a system designed to keep us poor. Courage to defend ourselves in a world that criminalizes our existence. Courage to tell truth in a culture that profits from lies. Courage to demand reparations when they say, "Let it go." Courage to be the ancestor our descendants will thank. We pray for our children and our children's children. Let them inherit empire, not debt. Let them inherit healing, not trauma. Let them inherit truth, not erasure. Let them inherit wealth, not poverty. Let them say, our ancestors broke the cycle, and we are free because they fought. We pray for this great wealth transfer happening right now. $84 trillion moving between generations. Lord, let black families catch this wave. Let 2025 be the year generational poverty ends and generational wealth begins. Let this be the turning point. Let this be the breakthrough. Bless every person watching this video. Give them strength to execute their resolution. Give them wisdom to build what lasts. Give them faith to believe empire is possible. Give them courage to become the ancestor their descendants will thank. Protect them as they build. Defend them as they rise. Guide them as they invest. Teach them as they learn. Surround them with people who will help them win. And when our great-great-grandchildren study us in 2125, let them say, that generation changed everything. That generation broke the chains. That generation built the empire. That generation remembered. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Walk in power. Build with purpose. Think generationally. You are not what they did to you. You are what you do with what they did to you. 2025 is your year. Not next year. Not someday. Right now. Be the ancestor your descendants will thank. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. What will you give back?